Why Gen Z is rejecting corporate jobs? Very simple, because they are less and less reliable, there's way less office jobs these days, and nobody wants to work in the trades. And obviously, now they're making way more money from trade jobs.
I'm a Gen Z blue-collar worker, and here is why I love working in the trades.
I'm 19 years old, I do asphalt.
Day in the life of a 19-year-old plumber.
Here's how much I make as a
19 and already employed.
19-year-old underground electrical helper.
Come work a 10-hour shift with me as a 19-year-old truck driver.
What made me want to start an electrical apprenticeship at 20.
Yeah.
For decades, we've been fed this idea. Go to school, memorize useless information, spend $100,000 on college.
Yeah, exactly. And by you're done with college, you've got zero experience with any job, right? You're in debt for like 30 to 100 plus K dollars. And somebody who started working in a trade job at the age of 18, 19 now has no debt and has way more money saved up than you. And it's like,
if you're lucky, you get to work
and
a
there's more
mediocre
trade
office
jobs.
job that you hate. And we're told that if you don't follow this path, you're a failure. But Gen Z is the first generation with enough balls to reject this system. Gen Z is
no, it's not about just having enough balls. It's the other thing is because we don't have really that many options these days.
turning to trade jobs. And this isn't just a trend. It's the biggest career shift we had in decades and a complete revolution in the job market. 42% of Gen Z individuals are either working in or pursuing blue-collar jobs. Even Gen Z college graduates are tapping out.
Also now, most of the college graduates are women, and a lot of the times, like this old type of traditional education needs to be fucking abolished. It needs to be changed. When we were in high school, in elementary school, they would tell you to focus on to study on the subjects you were bad at, so you would pass the year, instead of hyper focusing on what your good positions are, what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and trying to make a career out of it. Like if you're bad at history but good at math, now you have to study history extra more than math because you have to have good grades. It's so fucking stupid, man.
7% of those with bachelor's degrees are choosing blue-collar work. This far exceeds the rates of previous generations, and this trend is only growing faster and faster. Surveys suggest that at some point in 2026, the majority of Gen Z will be pursuing trade jobs. Yes, the generation that was supposed to change the world is now changing oil filters. So
let's see how long that's gonna last until AI takes all the trade jobs as well.
Gen Z making this switch? Because we're absolutely fed up with where society is headed. We're expected to go through 16 years of school, spending hours every day memorizing useless information. We're expected to pay over $100,000, putting ourselves in years of debt just to go learn useless nonsense in college.
Insane.
And even after we go through 16 years of this hell, we're still very unlikely to get a job. It's no wonder why millions are choosing to opt out of college and go to trade school.
Plus, I remember like our grandparents, a lot of them had no college. A lot of them didn't even have a high school, right? And they were still able to grow a family and to buy a home and get a job. And they were in the same type of job, in the same type of factory from beginning till end. And those kinds of jobs provided security for those kinds of people. But as the decades passed, everything became more expensive and paychecks just stagnated, and here we are now. Now it's AI taking over.
Costs around $16,000 in total, involves hands-on training rather than memorizing thousands of terms, and you're almost guaranteed to get a job once you graduate. Public universities have a dropout rate of 40%, while for trade schools, that rate is less than 2%. And many are even choosing to skip trade school entirely and going straight into the industry through apprenticeship.
I mean, this is even gonna be so fucking, like, imagine you're a man and a woman sees you doing this. You know how fucking attractive you are as a handyman,
and earning just as much
I know this is off topic,
which proves something society refuses to admit. You can go very far in life with nothing but a high school diploma. And yes, it's true that those with bachelor's degrees earn starting wages higher than those who graduated from a vocational program. But that's only if they're able to get a job. College graduates are 3 times more likely to be unemployed than graduates from vocational programs. And when you also factor in the insane amounts of student loan debt involved in going to college, it completely cancels out any argument that college is the better choice financially. Now, even though many Gen Z are turning to blue
College
collar
used to be like, college is what used to be okay for getting a better job, right? A lot of people from my family used to say, hey, work on starting some kind of a business and make sure you have a college degree so you can, have a backbone, you have a backup to fall into some kind of a job if it fails. Now if you go to most college degrees, most are worthless. Not everyone, but most degrees are worthless. Like a lot of art degrees, a lot of musical degrees. You know what I mean, right? And it's not that are bad. It's just you can't really find a job. Like it's hard to find a job in engineering fucking degrees not these days. Not to mention arts degrees or psychology degrees or philosophy,
because
whatever,
the
right?
college system is trash. That's only the tip of the iceberg. We need to talk about the main reason behind this massive career shift, and it's because our job market is absolutely cooked. In the past, getting a job was simple. You go to the interview, show your resume, answer some questions, and maybe get hired. Simple as that. Nowadays, most resumes never even reach a human employer.
Everything like your resume has to be perfectly fucking tailored for the AI to, like, if you're some kind of an engineer, some kind of a doctor, pharmacist, whatever, you have to have all the correct keywords and spelled in the like to the fucking dot. Everything should be correct, because if not, the AI might misread it or something or interpret it in a wrong way, and then out of thousands of resumes, let's say maybe 50 of them, maybe 20 of them make it to the actual HR person.
Being so oversaturated, algorithms filter people out based on keywords, degrees, and arbitrary requirements in order to pick the best of the best. It's gotten to a point where people have to mass apply to thousands of jobs at once using AI
that shit.
in hopes of a small chance of securing one job interview. And let's not forget that entry-level jobs now require over 3 years of experience.
You want to get in software engineering these days? You're 13 years old. You have to already have 5 years of experience. How are you going to get those 5 years of experience? You should have started coding while you were in your mom's womb. Too late, idiot.
In a world where we can't gain experience without a job, and we can't get a job without experience. To make matters even worse, 30% of job listings are actually ghost jobs that were never meant to be filled.
I hate
jobs
that
are
shit.
posted only to collect
I
data
call
or
those
to make
companies
it appear like
out.
a company is growing. So yeah, the job market is even more cooked than it looks. The problem isn't that we're incompetent or underqualified for getting a job. The issue is that there literally aren't enough jobs for us. And this problem is only getting worse.
Even if there were enough jobs, my guy, most jobs won't pay you enough. Inflation is just going to get much worse. There's going to be more wars. There's going to be more problems. There's going to be more AI. Who fucking knows? There's like a new virus in India now that's spreading that's way deadlier than the COVID virus, right? Who knows what shit might happen? I'm not seeing any of this financial shit the world is in right now going in a better place anytime in the near future.
Every year, AI is rising fast, and white-collar workers are quickly becoming less and less valuable. One report found that AI can already automate over half of all US work hours using technology that exists right now. This is no longer science fiction. It's literally happening as we speak. Companies are also increasingly outsourcing their work to people in foreign countries because they can give them lower...
That's gonna be short-lived as well, because a lot of those workers are gonna be a financial burden to these companies eventually when they can use an AI to basically do the same job for free.
Wages. In America, for example, 300,000 jobs are being outsourced every year. And seeing how this rate has changed over time, it's obvious that this outsourcing trend is only going to increase. And because outsourcing and AI are readily available to companies, hundreds of thousands of workers are being laid off and replaced every year in order to maximize profits. It also means that job postings are decreasing, as many companies simply do not need any more workers. And the boomers and Gen X keep telling us empty phrases like, just work harder, or just network more, or...
All of those boomers that say all this shit basically don't understand a lot of the stuff that's happening with the world. With inflation, with companies not being able to grow as much, with companies not having enough money, with AI taking over a lot of jobs. They don't know a lot of shit. They still think that in the traditional way of, the more you get educated, the more you will get paid, the safer and more stable of a job you will have, which is... It's not a reality anymore.
Stop buying Starbucks. In the past, people put their blood, sweat, and tears into becoming successful. Nowadays,
Yeah.
people put their blood, sweat, and tears into not becoming homeless. Gen Z is fed up with this white-collar rat race, which is why our generation is choosing to go blue-collar. Alright, now back to the video. AI and outsourcing are taking away our jobs, but trade jobs are pretty much untouchable for now. We're not building Terminator robots anytime soon. There's actually been a massive
I think it's gonna be very short-lived. I think like there's like a lot of the stuff, a lot of the white-collar jobs will still have at least one human, even if most of the team is gonna be taken care of, like destroyed, banished into the shadow realm, because you know AI is gonna do most of the job, and there's gonna be one supervisor. I think it's gonna happen. I think the same thing is gonna happen with these kinds of jobs as well.
Shortage in blue-collar workers, with 7.6 million trade jobs currently waiting to be filled. And blue-collar
Nice.
wages can be just as good, if not better, than white-collar.
I wanna think of how does the average AI engineer think about himself and his morals. You're being paid very well. You're in an AI boom, right? But how do you feel morally? Because you are basically creating the humanity's doom.
wages, like
I'm
plumbers
curious.
and electricians, whose median salaries are well over $60,000. In fact,
Nice.
trade job wages are actually expected to grow 10 to 15% faster than white-collar jobs by 2030. Trade jobs also come with flexibility and the opportunity to start your own business around your specific
Yep.
trade. But the sad truth is that none of these perks are really known to most people. Ever since the 1970s, the cultural push for college created the idea that success equates to a college degree and a desk job. And this narrative has led to blue-collar work being seen as dirty and low-paying.
Yeah, and now everybody is into trying and becoming an online businessman. And the most lucrative type of business that I'm seeing right now are the business of teaching other people how to do business. Like I'm seeing so many fucking YouTube, TikTok gurus every single day teaching you some kind of a business, selling you the product of them teaching you how to do the business. Meanwhile, they don't know how to do the business. They're just scamming you into teaching you on them not knowing nothing. That's it.
Parents keep telling their children that if
Sales.
they don't go to college,
Scams,
they're failures.
sales.
Only 3 in 10 blue-collar workers feel respected by society.
Yep.
But things are finally starting to change now, because Gen Z is the first generation to see through the cracks. We can smell the BS that society has been telling us. Gen Z is the first generation to have grown up with social media, and it's really made a big difference on how we see the world compared to previous
Generally, most of us see the world in a very negative connotation.
generations. While previous generations
valid
grew up
reasons.
with books, movies, and TV shows, we grew up with social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Vine, and
Yeah.
TikTok. We grew up constantly exposed to a massive range of perspectives and information, which oftentimes contradicts the information given to us by our parents and teachers. This has led Gen Z to realize that not everything we hear is true, making
Oh, especially the stuff we're hearing right now with the Epstein files and how the world's leaders and the most rich, powerful people in the world are basically immoral, crazy maniacs, devils who basically can do whatever the fuck they want to do in life, and the rules and laws don't apply to them. They only apply to us normies, and they can do fucking pedophilic crazy shit and sell drugs and stuff and go to wars. Meanwhile, all of us can die.
us a far more defiant generation. And although there's a
We're learning that there's no left or right political view that's more correct or wrong. We know that everybody is the same. Everybody is selfish. Everybody wants to destroy everyone just for their benefit and make money. Okay, it's somehow it's in our DNA, and we're fucking evil.
against blue-collar work in our culture,
As
Gen
a
Z is
humanity.
more immune to it. In fact, social media has led us to seeing the opposite side of the picture. Videos and shorts are blowing up that endorse blue-collar work, portraying it as a decent alternative to office jobs. We have subreddits which share information about trade jobs and debunk common myths against them, as well as encouraging Gen Z to pursue these jobs. They share things like the high wages certain jobs can make, or their own personal experience.
Carpenter, site manager in Hawaii, 120K per year. Okay, that's pretty fucking interesting.
Experiences working the jobs. This has
Holy
led many
shit.
Gen Z towards the direction of blue-collar work, despite what our teachers and parents have told us. Enrollment
Yeah.
to vocational programs has increased by nearly 20% since 2020. Meanwhile, traditional colleges have seen little to no growth in recent years.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that trade jobs are easy or that they're a better choice for everyone. Blue-collar work is very demanding. This is what SpongeBob said after turning to blue-collar.
Oh my god, I hate this. Oh. I hope YouTube doesn't flag my video because we're using AI for this.
Some people will naturally prefer an office job,
I hate AI
while
slop.
others prefer the trades. And for a very long time, society has needlessly pressured everyone to get an office job, which is kind of a lose-lose for both society and those who prefer physical jobs. And things are finally starting to change.
I don't think trade jobs are gonna be taken over that fast by people as fast as office jobs were, because working in an office under the AC sounds way fucking sexier in the city, right? Clean, tidy, all this fancy shit. And I think that if it gets taken over, it'll be faster because of AI, not because of other people. But I don't think it is. The safest alternative right now is actually, being a plumber, fixing people's fucking toilets and washers and dryers, being a construction worker and so on. And there's more and more people, the countries, importing migrants to work those kinds of jobs because nobody in the country wants to work that kind of a job, even if some countries pay very good money for those kinds of jobs.
Although it is a good thing that we've somewhat found a solution to this current job crisis, this isn't all sunshine and rainbows. We need to talk about some of the long-run implications here, as there are some darker possibilities that could unfold if this trend continues. In a few years, there's no doubt that the majority of American workers will be employed as blue-collar workers.
I don't know
there
about
simply
that.
won't be enough office jobs for us anymore.
Maybe,
this could be a good thing, as blue-collar jobs are a lot more valuable to society than any other category of jobs. Many modern jobs exist for the sole purpose to make a company look better, or to make rich people even richer, without contributing anything to society. Meanwhile, you have jobs where people are literally growing food, building houses, saving lives, and operating the power sources that run entire cities. So the shift towards blue-collar work could create a better society. But here's the problem. Once AI replaces most office jobs, instead of competing for white-collar work, we'll be competing for blue-collar work. And the blue-collar job market
I think it's gonna be much harder to come to, for the world to come to that point, but still, it'll probably come. If before that AI doesn't fucking take over everything and we have to live off of, a general paycheck, worldwide paycheck by all of the top 1% dominating companies, and they might have to be taxed an extra way more from every government.
Become oversaturated, just like the white-collar job market today. I mentioned earlier how there's 7.6 million trade jobs waiting to be filled. But once everyone starts making the shift towards blue-collar work, that number will be quickly filled up. We might even see something similar to the Industrial Revolution, where we become a two-tiered society, with a small elite class
we are getting there,
and a massive lower class forced to do all the physical labor. And I don't know about you, but that's not a world that I want to live in. Now, of course, this is all speculation, and there's really no way of knowing what things will be like in a decade from now. The takeaway here is that Gen Z's shift to blue-collar work should be seen just as much as a warning as it is a solution. But for now, blue-collar work is still a great option for those who are absolutely fed up with our BS education system or the corporate ladder. It's not for everyone, but for many, at least it's better than an office job. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in,
think about it this way, like when you think of all of the top 1% companies in the world right now, in any sector, in any industry, right? Most of them are companies that are old, at least 10, 20, 30 plus years old, like companies that were started in like the 20th century, right? We all know what I'm talking about. There's rarely ever companies that break into that 1% of top companies in the world that have started pretty recently, right? And the problem is, you're seeing less and less rich people. You're seeing the middle people, the people making the median age, the median wage. It's just going down. Everything's getting more expensive, and everybody's just getting poorer. And I am a doomer when it comes to this. I hope I'm gonna be wrong, but when I think of the future, this is how I think of it. Either everybody's gonna have some general type of income, a universal paycheck, and all of the top 1% companies are gonna dominate the whole fucking world, and just like maybe 10,000 people are gonna be rich enough and dominating the world, and everybody else, millions and billions, are gonna be barely fucking surviving. That's how I see it. I hope I'm wrong. I don't want to be a doomer and gloomer. That's just what I think. Tell me what you guys think in the comments, and have a nice day.